So last night I saw the screening.
Yes.
And if I would have to put myself in the mindset of an actor, I probably would have been a method actor when I was done watching because I needed a moment.
Okay.
I really wanted to be around my people and stuff. So I was thinking today, how hard was it for you all to emotionally disconnect from this content? Because it's emotionally driven stuff.
You know, you don't for me, I'm gonna speak for myself. I didn't emotionally disconnect. There was, you know, the last scene that we just shot actually when we wrapped, I was in the house. I'm you know, Miss Ernestine, head house and slave mother. And right before we started, I just, you know, I look around and I have no lines in this scene, in that one scene. And I looked up and I saw all the house slaves, the females, enslaved women. And I see these young women and I just got flooded with emotion. Because it all comes back and you just look and you said these young women. And at this point, because it's the end of the season, you know, my daughter has taught me so much, played by Journey Smollett-Bell, playing Rosalie.
Who you resemble so much.
That's my joy. That's my baby. I'm like, honey, I grew up watching her. So I'm like, it's easy to love her and play her mom. You know, and so she, at the end of the season, has taught me so much. And so I look at these young women differently than I looked at them when the season started. And it's just, I just had a moment. I said, girls, can we pray? And we just got into a little circle, had a moment, said a little quick prayer. And then we got to work, because that's what you do. So sometimes you just have to pause and realize you're on hallowed ground, allow it in, you know, let it kind of move through, respect it, and then get to work.
Well, you know, these are revolutionaries. You know, they're making things happen. And this fast-paced drama that Joe and Misha created, I feel so incredibly honored also to be part of it. And so I was thrilled that I could go there and tell the story. But I slept at night. Maybe I even slept better at night, knowing that I told the story. And it's such a fast-paced drama that I could just trust the writers and directors and just go with it.
Now, there will be cynics that say, oh God, another slave movie. Mm-hmm. But everyone who saw this story when we were at a screening came out with a pleasant surprise, like, oh, this isn't business as usual. What do you tell the cynics that are like, is this another slave movie? What can they expect that's different in this story?
I feel like we have been taught to be ashamed. No, sure.
Absolutely.
We have been taught to be ashamed of our history. And I think it's so interesting that my first instinct as well is like, ooh, do I want to play a slave? You get that call, you know? And to be able to have experienced it now and say, oh no, we need to celebrate them. You know, part of the research, you know, I'm reading Bullwhip Days. I'm reading Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl by Harriet Jacobs. And so I'm putting names and faces to this sometimes the way it gets taught, this wash, as this one event that we should all push aside. And I feel like it's exciting because Misha and Joe are such brilliant writers with Anthony at the helm driving it to keep you entertained, that they're also all human. And so along the Underground Railroad, you meet Jessica DeGao and Mark who are playing liberators, and just no one's perfect. You know, there are going to be times where you're going to be like, yes, Miss Ernestine, that's right, that's my mama, that's my grand. Oh, no, mama, don't do that. Yeah. You know, not that. Yeah. And it's that humanity is what draws you in, because you start saying, oh, there are details to this story that we have never heard that resonate with all of us right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's a thriller. And it's people doing whatever they can for freedom. And it's a hero story, yes. And you root for these people. So I don't think if you walk in there going, oh, it's just another slave drama, you're going to miss out.
Right.
It's the great escape. It's Americans making things happen and changing, and that's what we always are about.
Now, outside of your own characters, what other characters did you identify with? Because me personally, so I identify with Cato, because my idea of roughing it, see, I wouldn't have made it as a slave. My idea of roughing it is staying at a day's end. So Cato and I are here. What other characters did you really connect with in this story?
Maybe.
That's a great question.
Noah.
I hadn't thought of, ooh, yes.
Maybe because he's just so damn pretty and I just like watching him. There's that. But I love the fact that he knew he wasn't supposed to be a slave. And I like his guts. And I want to pretend Adina Porter to have that, you know? And then sometimes if you pretend to do it enough, you just kind of get it. Right. So his tenacity.
I love that. I guess I'll say my daughter. I don't know if that's weird, but I feel like I'm closer to Rosalie. Often I feel that way. Not as courageous as Miss Ernestine, And so when you know, the idea of being able to step into the shoes of this woman who is so powerful and is willing to make choices, anything that she has to do for her children, is a privilege and an honor to be that strong, and has given me personal strength. I feel like I've grown as a woman playing Miss Ernestine. You know, I've been like, oh, okay, I'm gonna fight for that.
My last question.
Please.
How does it feel to be? There's a resurgence of good scripted programming coming back to
Yes.
Hollywood. How does it feel to be attached to one of these projects that fit the good scripted program?
Oh, it is a blessing.
It is.
Man.
It is, and feel so incredibly lucky.
Yes, incredibly lucky. It's meaty material, and the thing is, and it's real. You know, the idea that that they are human and they are flawed, but they are passionate and they are willing to do whatever it takes, and it's just great to be a part. And there's a journey, there's an arc to all the characters. Everyone has a secret you want to know as soon as you know, and everyone ties in. It's all, you know, in different locations, but everyone's storyline is like what they do is going to have an effect on what I do, and I haven't even met you. You know?
And I love the fact of present day music being tied in with historical, because it kind of throws me off kilter. So you don't know what to expect, which is phenomenal.
And
There's
it's a
always
window.
surprises, tons and tons and tons of surprises. It's a roller coaster ride.
And that music is a window, because that music, since it's contemporary, we know it. So immediately you go, ooh, I know that song. You know, and you know what that song represents. It represents a sexiness, or it represents anger, or it represents a rebellious spirit. And you're just kind of, it just helps especially the younger generation, I think, but even me, to say, oh, I see where we are. And then that writing will just take you.
It's good to be able to talk with actors who are genuinely proud of the project. It's a good thing.
We're
Thank
lucky.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so very